Good day to you all and welcome to the broadcast. I am so excited to be starting this job. We're going to be getting all the mud off the top of this driveway. We're going to put fabric down, road bond on top of that, and we are going to turn this muddy, nasty driveway into a work of art. Luckily, I was up here the first time I looked at this driveway. It was thawed, so I know about how deep the mud is. I'm going to scrape all the mud off, and then I'm going to put it off to the side, and then we'll put our fabric out and we'll start bridging this road in. I figure I will just go over real quickly what I've got going on. They've got some really good sized rock. So as soon as I got down to the big rocks, I stopped, because when you start rolling these out, it leaves holes. And if I put that fabric down, it's going to leave a hole that's going to settle super slow and be aggravating. So I've scraped all of the top layer and frost layer off. And I got over here to the side. This looser dirt freezes quicker, and you can see, I can tell where it's froze to. That helps me a lot, knowing about how far to scrape this road down. You can see the sun is able to get down here and start melting this off, but we're at gravel here, so that is really, really good. And what I'm doing now at this point, as the road goes in, the sides of the road are higher, and you see that muddy bog over there that the trucks got stuck in? That's what happens when the roadsides are too high. This thing holds water and it soaks. So I'm cutting with my tilt bucket that I love a slope on the side here to get water to be able to drain off this road bed, and we'll be able to chase it out and get this whole area draining. It'll function a lot better. Same thing over here. I'll probably have a shallow ditch line up the side, and then we can taper it off and let it run into the creek here. I'll leave a little lip, so any sediment that comes off of the road initially will collect in that lip instead of getting in my stream. So let's jump in the excavator and I can show you guys kind of real time how I'm doing it. Okay, just a quick little demonstration. Let me get myself going here. I'm just putting a slight slope to my right through here. You would think that that's frozen ground, but I'm actually getting into gravel. Cutting that little shelf to my side. So this gets kind of soft right here, how it dips down. So we'll just leave it as such, and we'll fill it back in later with road bond. Easy, easy. It's easier just to go ahead and cut this road a little bit wider, and then I can dress the sides once we get our road bond in. Just collecting this extra bits of dirt that doesn't need to be right there. They may want to keep this dirt to use somewhere else, so I'm not going to mix it up. Lose it. As I go up toward the crown, I tilt my bucket less from that, which is cutting my ditch. I'll even it up a little bit, and then when I pull it, it grades that whole edge pretty good. A little bit more gravel right there in that spot. I'm guessing this is one of those driveways that somebody just kept pouring gravel into the mud holes, and this is what you end up with. Now, another way you can do it is kind of just shape it as we go, kind of like this. There's a little bit of ice right there, but not so much that it's concerning. I don't want to get this lip to the left too deep. I don't think my box blade would have cut this. It just wouldn't have the downward pressure that we would need to break through that little bit of frost. I don't think. I'm using the road itself on the right side of that bucket as my guide. See them big clumps? You can tell how deep the road is frozen by those. This thing's stout. I can adjust the tilt of that blade as I'm cutting. Good bucket. I'm happy with it. Working our way through the curve already. See, I can go back over this with my box blade when I get back if I want to. I don't think I'm going to need to, but I can just to even everything up. I just don't want to loosen that sub layer up any more than I really have to. Let's make sure I'm going in the right trajectory here. My goal is to make it to this snow layer right here today. As us being on this north is this way. So if we're on the north facing side of the mountain, that means unless the sun is, if it's not a tall mountain, then sun can reach it and melt it off. But you can see the difference. There's no snow over there, but there's all kinds of snow over here, and that's no bueno. I'm fairly aggressive with the crown of this road. I'll say that. Put my blade down here to stabilize us because we must be sitting on a hump because we're teetering, and that makes it a little harder to grade. Some people grade with their bucket flat, like say this, and then they'll just kind of pull it toward them, but I don't know. I've always liked grading with the cutting edge down, even if it's a tooth bucket, which is the first smooth tilt bucket I've ever used. Put my blade down again. I'm going to widen this curve out just a touch. Make it easier for the big trucks to get in and out. I think this road's going to... Now see, this is a good spot for a quick little relief in case we get some rain. So what I'm going to do, by relief, I mean this. Let's scoot over here. Now you can see, we're going to have water coming down around this edge. It's inevitable. There's no way around it. So what I want to do is see if this is soft enough. Nope. All we gotta do is cut us a little bitty relief. Something they can even mow over. Now see, once I get my little trench, I can tilt my bucket back and make it less of a dip. So a lawnmower can just glide right across that. Do the same thing here. Now then, let's keep on going, shall we? Hopefully this microphone's coming in loud and clear for you guys. I may have to do some touch-up work here to this little relief, but that's okay. It's just a spot for water to be able to get out. I'll tidy that on up, because when we add 4 or 5, maybe 6 inches of road bond here, this roadbed's actually going to be up about right there. So you can see how much higher the roadbed's going to be, and it's going to be sloped so water can run off and away. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now we're just going to follow our road on back out. I'm going to tell you, this is more fun, and I think I'm actually doing probably a better job grading this road with this than my box blade. Now you can see here, see how smooth that is? But those little streaks of white, that's rock. So I want to get down to where there's less mud, more rock. I'm watching for rocks to start rolling out. I'm happy with that. Let's widen this road on out. Boy, they really got a truck stuck here, folks. I am telling you. Let's go ahead and pull this out here. Now that I'm on this side, I'm going to tilt my bucket. Now, it's always good in my area that in a curve you bank the road just a touch more, but not so much that when a car comes down through here and there's snow on the road that it won't just slide into the ditch. And obviously, that's an issue here. We'll widen this out good so future construction can have an easier time. I'm getting up on the ice because my excavator's wanting to slide, so I'm going to dig that blade in at the back. The reason I got my blade to the back is visibility. Let's see if we can follow this line. See, I'm leaving most of my bucket on this hard road bed, and then I'm slowly inching over into the softer stuff to widen this curve out. Just go ahead and put this little ditch over here, shall we? We give a shout out to my man Dirt Boss. I got to talk on the phone with him today. We had a good chat about live streaming. It's always a pleasure. I'm just going to go ahead and go a little crazy in this curve. I can always, once I get this road bed done, jump up onto the shoulders and do my fine tuning with the shoulders, but we've got more snow coming in next weekend, so that means I've only got today and today. I've only got today and tomorrow to at least get this stretch done. There's a lot of ice in this curve. I'm going to make sure to dig down until I hit gravel. Tell this spot right here hasn't been getting a lot of let's see what we got. I'm gonna prospect. See all that white? That right there. Yeah, we got a lot of gravel coming out, so even if there is just a touch of a frost layer here, yep, see there, see that clump? I'll pull it up here. That means my ground just froze about 2 inches thick right here in this corner. So I'm kind of prospecting my way along here. At least get to where the sun's not hitting and the ground will just stay frozen. We won't have to worry about them tracking mud down onto my good road as much. Come on, baby. That's hard ground right there. Look at this ground cut. All right, let me speed things up. Here we go. Well, we got rain last night, which is good because it helped melt the snow off here. It's bad because my road bond is soaking wet. There's a very, very good possibility that it's going to clump up my tailgate. Next order of business, I'm going to grab the tractor, drag the box blade, dress this area up, get it finished, then we'll move on to the next step. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take that load that I've got on right now and put another coat down on this area just because I don't feel like it's quite thick enough. Let's put it down. I like that a lot better. I didn't plan on putting quite that much down, but sometimes I'll get into a job and it just doesn't feel right when I drive on it, or it just doesn't look right to me. So even if it cuts into my profit, I'm gonna put some more down. This area up through here is firm. They weren't having trouble with mud, it just needs a fresh layer. So we're not gonna need to do fabric up through here. I mostly do fabric in the mountains if it's a low line area or a flat area where water could potentially sit and soak in. So we're gonna leave this alone for now, but one thing to keep in mind, once I shape this, water's gonna come down this side of the road. Water's gonna come through this curve, so either A, you have to put a pipe across where you're gonna cut into this parking area, or to save money, we'll just grade it out to where when they back in, there'll be just a slight ditch line back there to where water can just run out into the field. That looks pretty good. Let's go get some road bond. Well, I think I will go ahead and just put some fabric down in this area just to make it easier to back the truck up to. If I can keep from busting my tail. We got this just kind of roughed up and put in. I'll be able to do some finish grading once we're done. That is luckily getting some sun. It looks like it'll get some sun for a little while. It's melting off good, so I should be able to give me a good run and go at it and hopefully get some stone down. Let's go get some. Let us recap, friends. This slope is good. You can tell that there's a lot of moisture content in that road bond. Man, you can tell it's really getting cold fast now that the sky's cleared off. Everything is refreezing, but I'm pleased that we were able to raise this road bed and water can trickle down that side, and anything coming off this side's got a good lip to run off. I dumped this load. I had to get in a little bit of a hurry this evening, so I didn't take the time to film dropping this load of road bond. My apologies. You guys really didn't miss much, but I'm going to use this to build me up a good little dam. You can see I've got some puddling, but I'm going to raise this, really the driveway's bed up Be nice if the hired help around here wouldn't, the carpenters, they park down there and track dirt out my new driveway. Luckily, I've got a load on the truck that I am going to spread through this curve to thicken this on up. You can see the water that was coming down through here before I did that collected, and see how that'll make that soft. When we build all this up and I back up here and spread this, that's going to be so high that any water coming down through there is going to be able to roll off this side. And we'll get this all good and shaped up. We'll get it where that water's trickling out, and then I will show you what we're going to do with that stuff. Friends, we have successfully completed that next little step. I've really tracked this road in with the tractor. Those treads on it actually do a really good job of compacting this. It doesn't leave a real smooth surface, but it's much like a sheep's foot type of a roller. That tractor is super heavy, especially the rear end. The tires are loaded with fluid and it has the cast iron weights. So it's done a really good job packing this in. All of this road is done to right about here. And you can see the difference in this more or less well-groomed part of the road and this area where we're still shy, I would say 2 good loads, about 18 tons. Now the sun has gone down, and what I'd like to do at this point, we've got this low area here. That's going to be a good area for me to transfer that material down there to here and dress this whole area out. This material has a little bit of gravel in it, but not very much at all. I'll be able to just pack it all along this edge to where water can get off of the road. that turned out pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's mud, so this would have been a good time to have my I-beam. The 4-foot tilt bucket's great, but the I-beam, I would have had that done in a third of the time. But anyway, we got it smoothed out. Any water we get over the weekend, we'll be able to come off the road, run down this slicked out mud. And if we don't get any rain, being on this little bit of a slope and smoothed out, that mud will have an opportunity to dry just a little bit. It is winter, it's cold, so it'll only dry so much. But every bit that it can dry between now and the time I'm getting ready to load the excavator out and leave the job, I'll be able to come back and give it another touching up and make it look real good. So you gotta stick around to the next segment of this video. I'm gonna take a weekend and we're getting ready to start up on Monday, right? As promised to the customer, we have a nice gradual slope from up at the paved road down to here. I don't think that we need to line that edge with riprap. I believe it'll set up fine, but I'll talk to him before I leave here and give him the option to line it with riprap. I do not feel awesome about this corner. It's a little too narrow for me, and it's also a little thin of material, so I'm gonna go ahead and get about 9 more tons. We'll slap it right here in this corner and make it look good. All right, friends, let's check this driveway out. This was our biggest, actually no, this is probably the second biggest challenge about this driveway. I don't know how well y'all can tell, but we actually had to raise this road bed up to where we had a good smooth transition. And it's actually not just a straight up, it's got a little bit of a bow to it. So if it does settle anymore, it can settle. If he wanted to, he could line this edge with riprap or whatever he wants, but I took the excavator and knocked that edge down, and on that slope it should not just slide off unless somebody drives off of it. We had a dip right here, filled it in, made a nice smooth transition. We added an extra 9 tons to this corner to widen it out. That way if he has Amazon, which everybody has Amazon showing up these days, they can come in and make a little wider turn. Even in my short little dump truck, I noticed I was having to hug that edge, so we widened it out. Goes back to a standard width here. This was our mud hole, and I mean it was a mud hole. The mud we dug out, we put over here, smoothed it out, raised this road bed by a lot. You guys can go back in the video to see just how much. But I graded this off, and you can see there's not really any standing water right against the edge. We got a little bit of a puddle right here, but for the most part, the water's run off along that edge. And that's what'll keep this road dry. That's just a little bit of puddling. I can go back with my shovel, and actually I can use my foot. See how you can just rake those little high spots and it'll start draining? I can do the same thing here. I figured I would leave that fabric because coming through this curve, people are gonna fly through here, they always do. So what's gonna happen is this material is gonna get pushed out, and I'm estimating about halfway. And even if it does go all the way, it'll taper down and water will still be able to run off. It's kind of nasty looking, but it's pretty firm. As you can see, we got some snow, and snow on top of gravel roads just doesn't work. This is north facing, as you guys might have seen earlier in the video. So this melts off last, and when it melts really slow, water soaks in worse, and when it freezes, it busts it apart. But this video has taken me about 3 working days, and that's 3 working days to get this job done. I think I hauled like 9 or 10 loads on my little single axle to do all of this. It was a super fun little project, and of course the customer gets a free touch-up, and I felt really good about giving him a free touch-up just because it's the middle of winter here, and winter in the mountains of North Carolina is hard on gravel roads. You talk about a pretty road if we had it in the budget to roll it, but it turned out really well. So we're going to call this job done. You guys click the subscribe button, ding the bell, and we'll move on to the next project. See you guys there.